What's up, fam? It's Brian Castrillo, and it's time to talk about episode 21 of The Walking Dead, Outpost. But man, fam, can you believe we got 3 episodes left of the main show? Where has the time gone? I cannot believe it's come to this. The main show is ending, but thank you, AMC. Thank you, The Walking Dead. You guys brought together a group of people that became friends, became fam, and I love you for that. TWD family for life, and it's been a long road, but it's coming to an end, and I cannot believe it, but I'm excited for the spin-offs. But let's talk about Outpost. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna throw my MVP from the beginning because it goes out to Lauren Cohan, who has done a powerful performance in this episode. Wow, I still can't get over the fact that we got 3 episodes left. But so we begin the beginning, and our people are being taken by the Commonwealth Guards. They're being escorted out. Some of our people are on a bus. Some of them are in, one of the convoy jeeps, and we got, Maggie, we got Rosita, and we got Father Gabriel. They're in one of the convoy jeeps, and Maggie wakes up. She notices that the guard has fallen asleep, and we see her wiggling herself out. She eventually frees herself, then frees Father Gabriel, then Rosita. They jump off. Lauren falls back. She gets into a struggle with the guard, and who ends up shooting the driver, and they crash. They kind of get separated. Rosita and Father Gabriel kind of go off on their own. Maggie goes on her own. Now we go to this the bus where the warden guy, he gives a speech about how basically our crew is at the bottom and they should just be happy they're not out on out in the wilderness, whatever. But after the speech, have you ever seen a character that you have not more wanted to meet Lucille than that guy? Ooh. I believe that Lucille is thirsty, but enough about Lucille. But that guy is oh gosh, I can't stand him after that. But we see that Negan's wife is taken elsewhere, and the rest of our crew is taken to this hard labor place. How they're basically supporting the Commonwealth to whatever they're fighting there. It doesn't matter, but they're basically getting ready to be treated like shit for hard labor. Then we see, Maggie's on the road, on the train tracks. And if this does not remind you of the Terminus season where she's looking for Glenn, then I don't know what does. But she sees this young, Walker kid. And this brings me back to Rick when he, sees that first young Walker who he ends up shooting. So many callbacks in this episode, and that scene right there where she first is one of the reasons why I'm giving Lauren Cohan this MVP. Then we see Rosita and Father Gabriel, and they're kind of bickering back and forth. Rosita's like, we just got to go, and basically kind of taking charge. And Father Gabriel's basically saying, let's, think about this. We can't just go running in there. But eventually, they do come together, but not before fighting these walkers. She gets a shoulder dislocated. But it eventually does pull them together. Now we see, Daryl and Carol watching guards. They realize that Connie is part of this group. And, they got a walkie, and they realize that she's being pulled to Destination 2. What does that mean? I can only assume it's the CRM. But I have no idea. It is not good no matter what it is. Probably part of their training people. Eventually, Daryl and Carol are talking strategy, and this episode and the previous episode, no, I didn't do a review on there because, I had issues with part of my video with a copyright. I was trying to do something kind of cool, but either way, this episode and last episode, what we see is that Carol and Daryl's struggles that they had are no longer. They are, they are the unit that they used to be. They are, the soulmates, the best friends that they've always been, and come to be. I think that's past. That's what's gone, and their bond is like it used to be, and we are at this moment. But Carol, tells him, this, yes, this reminds me of the cave. This is the first thing I thought about. But don't forget, Daryl, I know you want to go out and, get her, but remember what Kelly said is basically that we can't help anybody if we're dead. So we have to, be smart about this. Daryl, of course, agrees because, like I said, they are on that same page again. And when Daryl and Carol are on the same page, watch out everybody else because they are a lethal combination. Then after that, we see Maggie. She's escaping, and she's hiding like in this kind of ditch. This Commonwealth guard comes by, who's basically searching for everybody, and also she sees the Walker kid who's coming. Distracts the guard. She kills the guard, and this scene was so intense where she's holding the kid. And of course she's thinking of Herschel, but this is reminding me back to Rick. This is whenever kids are in, I mean, you go to Sophia, you go to, the very first child. Whenever we have a child Walker, it's always a really good scene, and this was no different. Lauren Cohan was just incredibly powerful. As she's, holding the child, Walker, and she eventually kills it. Just when she was looking into his eyes, she just felt bad, like just her mother instincts are coming out. Eventually puts the Walker kid out of its misery, and then Daryl and Carol pull up behind her, and they see it, and I know what's going through their mind. Then Maggie and Carol talk, and this again, another powerful moment. Where they're talking about how they became family, and just absolutely heartbreaking scene, and again just furthering my Lauren Cohan deserves the MVP of this episode. And then Rosita and Gabriel catch up with them. Then we see Daryl threatening one of the guards, basically saying that you guys took my kids, you want to die screaming or you want to die quick. And then Gabriel recognized him as one of the people that comes in his pew, sits in the back. And it's Father Gabriel that kind of gets him to calm down and realize that what they're doing is good. Now this guard has already been shot by someone. But Gabriel kind of brings him into focus, and that realizing that he can do still something good. Excuse me. Now, then we see Negan is, he's asking about his wife to one of the guards who hits him with the crowbar, but the look on Negan's face is just like, you're going to pay for this someday for that. Just the cold stare that he gives him. But my favorite moment in this is when Negan comes up to Ezekiel, who's struggling with what to do. He sees Kelly, who's totally like distraught, not herself, like kind of almost on the verge of giving up. And this is a moment that I kind of been waiting for, because if you go back to the Kingdom, and of course we know what Negan was back then, they had to air this out, and they're Ezekiel basically telling him that I haven't forgotten all that you've done, forcing women to be your wife, killing people, etc., etc. That was just a powerful moment. I loved it. Then we see our people hijack the train, and Maggie being damn near 007 coming onto the train and getting the conductor, while the rest of our crew is taking out the walkers and the guards. There was a really cute moment where Daryl sees Connie again, and this and I know for those of you that are wanting Donnie to be a thing, this was your moment. This was a big absolutely adorable moment where Daryl's, he's giddy, and there's clearly some chemistry between them two. I absolutely love that moment. But then we get to the end, and Rosita, she brilliant moment, talks about how, she was lost from the train, everybody's dead, and gets, them to basically relay back information where we find out where, post 22 is, which is, Alexandria, and that's where everybody's taken. So this is where we are headed. And then again, Maggie gives another powerful speech, basically talking about Pam. We are coming for you, and she's not going to know what hit her. But love this episode. And this this is a setup episode, and this has me worried for a lot of people. What's going to happen with our Eugene? But this episode kind of has me worried for Connie, because you see Kelly there, like, she's distraught, and I feel like she is going to come through with this, but it might be, it might take, losing Connie to break her out of this, because, and then of course that beautiful moment with Daryl. I'm just really concerned for her. She of course, she's back with our group, but where is Negan's wife? Where are the children? Oh gosh, these last 3 episodes are going to be emotional. They're going to be exciting. They're going to be badass, and I cannot wait. What did you guys think of this episode? What were your favorite parts? Do you want the warden to meet Lucille? Is Lucille thirsty? Do you think we could possibly see a Lucille scene? I'm kind of hoping so. And if anybody deserves it, it's that damn warden, and maybe the guard who hit Negan. But yeah, I love this episode. My shout out, my MVP, of course, goes to Lauren Cohan, Maggie Rhee, and my shout out is going to my good friend Todd Reed. I want you to see what he is doing here in Mansfield, Ohio. I'm going to include a link. If you love horror, you got to check this out. Also, for those of you that supported me in the face of horror, I hope you will support him. Give him your vote. He's an incredibly talented artist, and you're going to see some of that in his links here. Please vote for him in the face of horror. As always, I love you guys, and I really appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like and share. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys. As always, I love you guys. TWD family for life. We got 3 more. I'm not ready. I don't know about you guys, but it's going to get crazy. And I'm ready. Let's do this. Love you guys. Thank you.